is that between 30 to 60% of the fruits and vegetables that we produce are lost, depending on the country where we live. And that brings us to a very critical question that we don't really need to produce more products, but we need to manage what we produce. And that is where the theme of my talk today is coming from. There has to be a shift from our attitude post-harvest of whatever we produce. As we all know, and if we don't know, fruits and vegetables actually continue all their physiological processes after harvest. That means they respire, they transpire, and all of this costs them the organic substrates, the nutrients, and over time, what you see is that there is growth of microorganisms, and also there is natural senescence. And what that happens, if you take my very good friend here and you put any one of us in a very hot chamber, we sweat, we salivate, and natural senescence continues until the product is no longer useful. So, what does this do? It becomes a chase and a race against time, right from the farm to the end user, the consumers. And generally, we have, thanks to globalization, we have products moving from continent to another continent, taking a long duration of time to get there. And the challenge is that you have to preserve the nutrition, you have to preserve the consumer quality, and you have to also preserve the safety of that product. So what do we do generally? And that is where my team is coming from, a pack and pay approach. So the farmer packs and prays that the retailer doesn't have any problem with the product. And the retailer is happy. So the retailer packs and brings it to the shelf and prays that the consumer will come in and pick it up without any problem. But 95% of the time, they've been lucky. And 5% of the time, we've ended up with outbreaks of food poisoning, outbreaks all over the continent. In some cases, I think we had a very major case in 2011. And we did a study to see that actually almost every packed product is at suboptimal condition to where they should be in terms of gas composition inside the packed products. And also, the recommendation by scientists is that you should store the broccoli, for example, at 4 degrees or 5 degrees. I'm sure when you walk into one of the big supermarkets, it's at 15 degrees. So the quality of the product also takes the heat. And what is the paradigm shift that we're looking at? There has to be an integrated effort, both in science, that is centered around this point in our production, taking physiology of the product, engineering of the packaging, and we convert the technology in the consciousness of the consumer demand, our environment in terms of bioeconomy, making sure we use things that are biodegradable in terms of packaging, and also the marketing in having a very optimized cold supply system. And that is one of the focus of our work. And the other question is that we have a lot of measurements that we do in terms of looking at the quality of apples. I'm sure when you go into the store and you pick up an apple, the first thing you do is to squash and see if it's firm. And we have all these other attributes that we use to measure the quality of the product. All of this quality analysis are destructive. So that means we end up wasting more fruits in determining if we can eat them or we can throw them away. And our argument is that there has to be a shift from this analysis to a more metabolomic or phenomics or molecular organic level in which we can be able to monitor the change in quality of fruits and vegetables over time. And what we've known in studies actually is that these parameters change before any of the other attributes that we measure here. So there has to be a shift from the traditional culture of just packing and praying. And our ultimate goal is to be able to get to a point where the consumer can actually be the benefactor by having an integrated package system with molecular organic compounds and sensors that can actually tell us the quality of what we are picking up in the stores. Thank you very much.